What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, and joining me is my own Hot Commodity, whose name is Ant as well. And
what's up?
We are jumping into our very own time machine as we cover. I think Alexa's gonna. Oh no, actually, she didn't talk. That was great. We have
Hey Alexa, make the censorship sound.
He doesn't know what you're talking about. That's okay. But we're jumping in our time machine as we talk to Alexa, and we are covering the Attitude Years. We've covered season 1 and 2 in the archives, covering 97 and 98, 99.
Hey Alexa, who's the greatest WWE wrestler of all time?
The two professional wrestlers with the most all-time world heavyweight titles are the Nature Boy Ric Flair and John Cena.
Oh, gee, Ric Flair and John Cena, great. Anyways, who cares? So, we are covering Raw Is War from July 3rd, 2000 in Orlando, Florida. We just saw Mick Foley become the new commissioner of the WWF. The Rock is the new WWF champion. Vince McMahon is gone. There's no number one contender right now. And that's kind of where things are right now in WWE. So we start off Raw with Triple H confronting Mick Foley backstage. He wants a shot at Chris Jericho. Mick tells Triple H that the match should be saved for the pay-per-view, but he will try to figure things out tonight. So, interesting start. Triple H is pissed.
We also have to remember that Vince McMahon is trying to get Linda pregnant.
He's trying to get Linda pregnant.
He's a genetic jackhammer.
Yeah. So that's why Vince is gone. But our first match, European champion Eddie Guerrero with Chyna defends against Chris Benoit here.
Latino.
Benoit grabs the title. Chyna grabs it from Benoit, and then Eddie drop kicks Chris Benoit, and then Benoit falls on top of Chyna, and then Chris grabs the European title and lays out Eddie Guerrero with it. And after Benoit applies the crossface to the ninth wonder of the world.
Rude.
Terrible stuff here. What'd you think of Benoit attacking Chyna here?
It's terrible. Why would he? Poor delicate Chyna.
Poor and delicate don't describe Chyna.
No.
Big and rough.
No. I think Chyna would have gave Benoit a run for his fucking money.
Yeah. But we go to a break with the announcers pretty much worried about Chyna. Commissioner Mick Foley comes out. Foley says, I have the greatest job in the world. 1 week as commish, and look what happened. The faction splitting up. The WWF stock is through the roof, and we have a new WWF champion. I sometimes have to make unpopular decisions. I officially banned the worm. Nah, I'm just kidding. I love that move, he says. He says Triple H and Kurt Angle screwed up the number one contendership. Tonight, the possibilities are wide open. That's when WWF champion The Rock comes out. Rock says, Mick Foley, welcome back. Mick says, congratulations on being a 5-time WWF champion. That puts you up there on the elite list of the greatest champions of all time in the WWF. How does that make you feel? Rock goes to talking. He goes, it doesn't matter how it makes you feel. And then Mick runs around the ring chanting Foley. That was pretty funny. Rock says, didn't I tell you not to use my catchphrases? Just make a new number one contender. That's when Shane McMahon comes out. Shane says, I know what you're all thinking. How could a normal man who suffered knee and rib injuries be standing here? But I've never been a normal man. I graduated valedictorian in my class. I have endured a chokeslam 15 feet in the air as Undertaker.
Vince paid good money for him to be valedictorian.
He did. I have endured a chokeslam 15 feet in the air as Undertaker slam dunked me through the announce table. I had to endure my evil mother and egomaniacal dad fight with each other. My brother-in-law lost the title without being pinned. I witnessed you fans calling my baby sister a slut. The powers are now in the slob's hands. I'm taking a stand. I'm declaring my Independence Day. It should be me who decides the number one contender.
Let me just tell you, this was the best crowd ever. They had the greatest chant. They were chanting Stephanie Swallows.
Well, that was later on, though.
It was funny. I had to say it.
And then Mick says, you think you should be number one contender. Did you hear Shane say he should be number one contender? You have to testicular fortitude, Shane, and you have got it. Shane versus The Rock for the WWF title tonight. And Shane's looking nervous about it. What do you think?
Shane looks like he's going to shit his pants.
Mm-hmm.
He don't want none of The Rock, not without his little butt-fuck buddies to protect him.
True.
So
we'll see what happens.
He's got no more posse. Daddy's not there. Triple H
Got his own
isn't there
stuff
yet.
going on.
He's got nobody. So
We'll see.
usually Shane has somebody in his corner when he, fights. Like he had the big show when he was fighting The Undertaker.
Next, we see Intercontinental Champion Rikishi take on Triple H with Women's Champion Stephanie McMahon Helmsley.
Rikishi.
Basically, Triple H and Rikishi fight on the floor to a double count out, and then Chris Jericho comes out and tosses Triple H into the ring steps, and Rikishi gives a stink face to Triple H. We go to a break, and Triple H yells at Mick Foley backstage, and Mick's like, fine, we'll book a handicap match, Chris Jericho versus DX, but Triple H, if you interfere, your match is off at Fully Loaded. So Triple H is not happy about this, but he is happy that
he agrees to it because it's a handicap match, and he's like, all right, they can handle it.
We then see Val Venis with Trish Stratus defeat Jeff Hardy with Lita after Tazz comes out and applies a Tazz mission to Jeff, and then Val hits a money shot. There's really no reason for Tazz to come out and attack everybody, but he's been doing that a lot lately. What do you think is going on here?
I don't really know what's going on with Tazz. I don't really get it. He seems to be like attacking all these random people, and it makes no sense because like the person he had a problem with is like the one he's protecting. So I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. He's attacked Al. I think he attacked. Who did he attack? He attacked Kane. He attacked Rikishi, and now he attacked.
But he was saving Benoit, which is who put him out.
No. I mean, it doesn't make sense. He's attacking Jeff Hardy now too. It's like it doesn't make sense why he's attacking everybody. We get the handicap match: DX versus Chris Jericho. But Mick Foley comes out and says we will have a handicap match, but it will be 2 against 3. So Jericho is teaming up with the Acolytes, and they defeat DX after Jericho lands a lion salt. And again, Triple H is upset. He destroys his locker room backstage, and Triple H and Stephanie leave in a limo. So Triple H is getting outsmarted here by Mick Foley left and right, and he wants to get his hands on Y2J, but it hasn't been able to happen for Triple H just yet. Tag champions Edge and Christian defend against Kane and The Undertaker. Undertaker ends up hitting a choke slam to Edge, but then Kurt Angle runs out and hits Undertaker in the knee with his scepter, causing a DQ victory for Kane and The Undertaker. After Edge and Christian get a choke slam and last ride from Kane and Taker here, but Angle's backstage and he says he didn't mean to offend The Undertaker and he apologizes for his actions. But Kurt Angle screwed The Undertaker out of the title here.
Yeah, and honestly, I kind of would have liked to see Kane and The Undertaker get the titles. But yeah, Kurt Angle's like running scared right now. He knows he fucked up big time, and I'm excited to see what happens between him and The Undertaker.
Me too. Next, light heavyweight champion Dean Malenko defends against Crash Holly. Dean says that he doesn't want to wrestle against women like Jackie. He wrestles men, says he wrestles with women. He says Dean lands a power bomb to defeat Crash Holly in a quick match, but afterwards Jacqueline and Ivory attack Dean Malenko and land a double suplex here. So really random stuff between.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle then comes out. Angle says, I had no intentions of breaking your arm, Hardcore Holly, but I'm glad I did it. I will not be disrespected by anybody anymore. And then he makes a challenge for a match, and Brooklyn Brawler comes out, and Angle is pissed that Brawler is his opponent. But then Mick Foley comes out and says, Angle, Brawler is not your competition. He's your partner against the Dudley Boys. So during the tag match, Angle leaves Brooklyn Brawler to defend for himself. The Dudleys land at 3D. And then afterwards, Bubba lands a super power bomb to the Brooklyn Brawler through a table. What you think here? Stupid. I don't understand why they even did this.
There's a lot of filler tonight. It was weird, like not having Vince there. Triple H left. The Rock wasn't doing anything really that riveting. Like, it was just kind of blah.
Well, this usually happens after, like, the pay-per-view because they're trying to build for the next one, and they have to,
Was this the very first one after the pay-per-view?
This was the second one.
Okay. They need to start building up in 2 weeks. So.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this even with the current stuff. They do everything last minute, so that's
But
kind
they
of.
didn't back then.
Well, yeah, they did. The women's hardcore evening out match,
Yeah.
Pat and Gerald happened on SmackDown, and the match took place on the pay-per-view. So,
Yeah.
the Godfather comes out with his hose to take on Test with Trish Stratus. During this match, Steven Richards comes out as part of the right to censor, and he puts sacks over the hose. That distracts the Godfather, which allows Test to hit a flying elbow drop, and Test gets the win after Steven Richards is backstage. And he says, wearing a thong and push-up bras are unacceptable. When is freedom of speech and whatever too much for the WWE? He's come to censor and make things right.
I could see Kurt Angle siding with them.
Okay. Kurt Angle joining the right to
Sure.
censorship. Al Snow talks to hardcore champion Steve Blackman backstage. He reads to him a poem about them working together as a team.
It was really funny.
Yeah, it was. And as he's reading to him, Kai and Ty and the Mean Street Posse try to get the hardcore championship, but Steve Blackman lays them all out with kendo stick shots.
And Al Snow doesn't know what's going on.
No, he doesn't know that. He's not listening to him. And then Al's like, this is why we can't be friends. There's no communication. And then Al leaves. Funny stuff here. We've come to our main event. WWF Champion The Rock defending against Shane McMahon here. Shane comes out and he says, you know I'm not 100%. I know you don't want to take advantage of that. If I was 100%, I'd walk out WWF Champion. However, you and I should be allies. Shane goes for a handshake, but The Rock attacks Shane. Chris Benoit then runs out and attacks The Rock from behind with steel chair shots. Benoit then applies a crossface. As their crossface is applied, Shane slaps The Rock and attacks The Rock with a steel chair. Many shots to The Rock's ribs. Mick Foley runs out, and then Benoit and Shane leave, and it looks like Chris Benoit might be the one to challenge The Rock for the WWF title here. What did you think of this twist here? We thought we were going to see Shane, but it ended up being Chris Benoit attacking The Rock and laying him out.
I kind of felt like Shane always does like underhanded, sneaky things, like, you know. So it was kind of expected that somebody was going to help him, or there was some type of plan. So
yeah, we knew going.
It wasn't a big shocker. We knew we weren't going to see one-on-one Shane and The Rock. You know.
What do you think from this episode would be something that would be memorable for Attitude Era wise from this episode? Your pick.
Shane McMahon's whole deal, yeah, having somebody else fight for him like that, and also all the shenanigans with Mick Foley as commissioner.
Mm-hmm. I would say Chris Jericho and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley, because it goes on for a while, their rivalry. Yeah. So, and we're just getting started with it. So
I have a feeling she might give in toward the end.
No, she might give in to Chris Jericho. She might want a little the Islet of the rock and roll.
She might want a little Y2K.
Okay. Y2K.
Y2K.
I was trying to think about what the K could have stood for in like a sexual term.
Y2 Pussy.
Yeah. So with that, that's it for this episode of Raw Is War. We've got SmackDown coming your way next. We're only like 3 weeks away from Fully Loaded, which I'm excited for. Leave a comment. Let us know what was your favorite moment from this episode of Raw. Subscribe, like, hit the notification bell on YouTube. Tell your mom to check us out. I'm sure she watched the Era back in the day. And yeah.
Probably like Sable.
Sable? I don't know. A lot of the moms were against Sable at the time. Playboy.
All right.
Well, with that,
stay
be safe and stay uncensored.